Happy Monday. I'm so excited to be with you all. My name is Janelle Villiers, and if this is your first time on the Janelle Villiers podcast, welcome. I love talking about all things related to books, so I'm giving tips and recommendations for how to write your book, edit it, publish it, market it, make money from your book, right? Also, I love to interview other authors so they can talk to you about their journey towards becoming an author and how they did what they did. As well as sometimes I interview people who aren't even authors yet because their story is so amazing. It's worthy to share, even though it's right before they've written their book. Or maybe it's encouragement that they should. So I'm excited to be with you today. Today is one of those days where we actually are going to have a guest with us to talk to us. But first, you guys know how I do. If this is your first time here, go ahead and put a 1 in the comments. I want to shout out everyone who's a first timer. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. If you are returning, go ahead and put a 2 in the comments. Hello, welcome back. Good to have you home. And for those of you who are watching the replay, go ahead and put an R. That's R in sign language. Go ahead and put an R in the replay and just let me know that you are watching the replay. Ask your questions, make your comments. I read all of them and I will get back to you as best I can. So I'm excited again to have you guys all here. Let's get into today's topic. Today's topic is your book is worth more than you think. 5 income streams authors are missing. What are those, right? And are you missing them? Well, I'm excited because you guys have heard me talk about this probably ad nauseum. But I'm excited because it is not just me this time. I have a guest with me. So let me go ahead and introduce him. I'm really excited because I think what a lot of people do is they spend months writing a book, sometimes years. They publish it. They celebrate, they wait for the sales to come in, and then nothing happens, right? People oftentimes think they're going to be J.K. Rowling just because it's up on Amazon, but that's not how this works. So I want to start to have you guys question, what if the book was never supposed to be the goal, right? Just having a book out there. What if it was always meant to be just where you start? And so that is why I'm excited, because today I am going to be speaking with Jonathan Clark. Woohoo! He is a best-selling author. He's a certified coach and our in-house publishing expert at Say That Publishing for how to help people monetize their book. And so we are going to get into, I think, something that most authors completely overlook when they publish, and that is the 5 different income streams already sitting inside your book, but you can tap into them right now. So everybody, please give a big round of applause for Jonathan Clark. Welcome to the show, Jonathan. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you very much, madam. Greetings from sunny Scotland. How are you?
Great. And thank you for letting everybody know where you are. So that way they're not questioning the accent.
There's a bit of a clue. Yeah, when I open my mouth, you can probably guess. I know it's not Ireland. It's Scotland.
To be clear, yes. Well, for those who are meeting you for the first time, and thank you again for coming on, by the way, like I am really excited for this conversation. For those who are meeting you for the first time, if you could just share a little bit about how you got to where you are right now and helping people and coaching them in ways to monetize their book.
Okay. Well, my first business was age 19. I've always been a superhero geek. So I grew up with Marvel Comics, DC Comics. I'm having a whole second childhood with the Marvel Universe movies. But I created a fanzine way back in the 80s, which was all about superheroes. I used to draw the comic strips. We had people contributing all over the world. They used to pay me in postal orders that you had to cash in at the post office. And I had an accounts book and everything. It was like a big official business. Eventually, we managed to turn it into a magazine. So we launched Fantasia magazine. I got to go to Las Vegas. I interviewed the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on a couch, which is very strange. I got to interview Stan Lee of Marvel Comics.
Amazing.
We launched this magazine in all over the world, actually. And that ran for 12 issues. And that was my first introduction to write once, get paid forevermore. Right? So it was like, okay, turn your hobbies, turn your language, turn your message into a format that other people can consume, and you get paid. What's not to like? That would be crikey, mid-80s. Jump forward to 2006. By that point, I'm running hypnotherapy and NLP business. So I've worked with people's heads and hearts for the past 28 years. And my coach at the time says, you need to write a book. So I wrote that one there. It's called Ignite and Unshackle. And it was a bit big. It's 500 pages. You could eat your dinner off that. And that was seminar transcriptions. That was me on stage teaching, recorded, transcribed, and turned into a book. And people to this day say, when I read this book, I can hear you talking. Well, yeah, you can, because I was talking. But really, this was just a business card. This was like the ultimate business card. This would be to give to clients. It would be to leave behind. It would be to stick into bookstore shelves and leave it there. It was just a calling card, and I really didn't do much with it. I wrote several other business books over the years, but not to sell. They were more like a foot in the door. They were more an introduction thing. It wasn't until I was in my attic in 2015, I found on green computer paper in dot matrix print with the holes down the sides. Some of you are old enough to remember that. A short story, a vigilante justice short story. And I remember thinking, okay, this is great. How do I get that onto Amazon? It's on paper. How, am I going to have to type this again? And I joined a couple of writer groups, and they said, oh, there's Dragon dictation software. And then somebody said, did you know that you can talk into Google Docs and it will type for you? And I'm like, really? Awesome. So that became Damnation Allies, which is that one there. Amazon bestseller. Fantastic. And I realized I had a real passion for writing fiction. So I've probably written more fiction now than nonfiction. So I've written 31 books in total. They're all behind me. But we've done 46 Amazon best-selling author clients on top of that. So like Janelle here, we know how to do this and do it quickly and do it well. And yeah, happy to share whatever information you want to pull out of my brain.
Okay, well, I love that segue. Let's get right into it then. When you say a book can generate 5 income streams, what does that actually mean? Can you walk us through what those 5 streams look like?
Absolutely. Well, I like to think of a book as an information product. A non-fiction book is an information product. Why do people buy information products? To either master a skill or to go deep into a particular area of expertise. So an information product doesn't just have to be a book, because some people like to read, but some people like to listen, some people like to experience, some people like to watch. So why not meet all the learning styles and turn your book into, say, an online course, an e-learning course where they watch videos and they have handouts? Why not turn it into software or an app? If your book has a transformational process in it, like a signature kind of step-by-step process, why not turn that into a series of seminars? Why not have like a 3 or 5 day retreat where you take a bunch of people through your process? Why not turn it into a board game, an action figure, an online game, merchandise, companion books? So many things you can do from just a book.
I love that, as you know. And so what have you found has been the most challenging part when you start to tell people, you can actually do something with this? You can create 5 different income streams. What do you feel like is the most difficult part for many people to do that?
I think to this day, a book is a mammoth task, and people see it as a huge, it's like a Herculean quest that's going to take me 10 years. They picture a wizard in a tower with a beard and a feather quill, scribing one word at a time. You can do it that way. Nowadays, it's a lot quicker. You can produce a book so much faster nowadays. And I'm not talking about using AI to write a book. I'm not into that. You can certainly use AI to structure and help outline or research stuff, but I would not.
I'm going to ask you about AI, so I'm glad you're talking. Yes, keep going.
Yeah, don't just copy and paste what ChatGPT spat out. That's a really bad idea. And Amazon doesn't like it either. So we don't do that. But what we might do is we might interview and record the transcript and get it typed up. We might have lunch around the table with your family and they interview you about your chosen topic and you've written a chapter over dinner. You could record, like I did, a 2-day seminar where you're on stage, record it, transcribe it. A 2-day seminar is a book. A 2-day seminar is an online course. So there's so many ways that you can repurpose the same content. The guys who like to watch it, give them video. The guys who like to listen, give them podcasts. The guys that like to experience it, give them events, retreats, seminars, workshops. The guys that like to just, absorb the information, that's information products, books, manuals, courses, training. There's so many ways you can do it. And honestly, if you're writing a book, you may as well do the others. It's not a case of which one should I do. It's which one first.
That was my next question. So which is there one that you recommend to do first out of the 5, or I don't know if it's
not really. I mean, the quickest way to do this would be if you were a speaker, if you were a presenter or a trainer, and you were standing on stage and you were teaching something anyway, just record it, get it transcribed. One day on stage is a book. Like 6 hours, 8 hours on stage is an entire book. That's probably the quickest way to do it. You might have an idea on a napkin for a book, in which case we need to outline it. We need to put some, meat on the bones and actually create it that way. You might have a ton of content on your computer. There's loads of ways to do it. I think a better way to think about it, and this is maybe a little bit more complex, but a good way to think about it is, what is the very first problem that you're trying to solve for someone? Like what is a best-selling book is a book that actually moves the needle for the reader, right? It has tips, guidance, implementation, lived experience, hacks. So what is the big problem that you want to solve for that client first? Is it helping people get clients? Is it people groom their dog? Is it people get more dates? What is the first problem that your prospect, your potential reader has? I would create something that solves that problem. And then I would look at, well, once you fix that problem, what's the next problem? Like, every problem solved creates a new problem. Right? So if a woman gets pregnant, we now need a nursery. Right? We now need a pram. We now need baby clothes. If you buy a house, you now need a plasterer, an electrician, a plumber, a decorator. Right? If you get engaged, you now need a wedding planner, a florist, a limo hire, a tux hire. Every problem that you solve creates a new problem. So the way I like to do it is line up your target audience's problems in the order that they happen, and create an information product that solves them one at a time. That way, because you're a farmer, not a hunter, that way you retain the client and you can help them on their journey as a loyal customer. So they don't just buy your book and you're done. They buy your book, then they maybe buy your online course, then they maybe buy your coaching, then they maybe come on one of your workshops or retreats, then they maybe put you in a monthly retainer for their company. So I think of it in terms of the list of problems that your clients are going to have. Create something that solves each problem, and a book is one of the quickest ones to do. And that's what we're talking about here. So it's the gravitas of a book. It's like, to this day, this is still a huge deal. If you're a published author, that it's touching the hem of the guru. It's that author effect that you have on people. And it's weird being the author. It's really weird to experience it, because you're going to go, and I'm the same person. Why are you acting so weird around me? But in the cult of celebrity and the age of attention that we live in, a book is such a huge deal to people. And if they knew how simple it is to produce one that you and I know, they queue up at the door.
Okay, so then could you walk us through what this looks like in practice? Like, take a book, you can choose any topic. What does the journey from published book to full ecosystem actually, or income ecosystem actually look like? Or you can use
okay. Well, I think, and you've probably found this as well. Say that again. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, if you want to use one client as an example, that might be helpful.
Okay, so we have a client called John. John is a world-class dog trainer. He goes out with humans and doggies into parks, and he solves problems like dog barking uncontrollably, dog running away and not coming back, dog eating my furniture, and dog jumping on people. And what I discovered through working with John is that most dog training is human training, because usually there's nothing wrong with the dog. And he's he's dead against shock collars. He's dead against, spike collars and any kind of inhumane methods. He's very, very good trainer guy. But he was maxed out, couldn't earn any more money, was seeing every client under the sun. Every hour he was out in the Scottish weather, bless him, with a human and a dog. And he reached the top. So I said to him, well, what do guys like you in your industry do after this? Like, what's the next level? And he said, well, they do workshops, they do seminars, they do retreats, and they do online courses, and they write books. I said, you're talking my language. So we did a survey of his 14,000 Facebook fans, and we asked them, of these top 10 problems, what are the top 5 that your dog exhibits? Overnight, we got hundreds of replies. So we had our 5 topics. I just interviewed him on Zoom about topic number 1 for an hour. We also were able to include live video of him working with a client on that particular problem. We transcribed those interviews. The videos became his online course, which he sells for $197. His 5 transcripts became the 5 chapters of his book. His book hit number 15 of all non-fiction books on Amazon.com. And it stayed there for 6 weeks. And he now guest speaks on other dog trainer seminars and events in Thailand, in Canada, in North America, in Europe, because he's the best-selling author. He now works 5 days a week instead of 7, and the rest of the residual income comes in from his books and his courses. To answer your question, I think the biggest hurdle most people have is psychological. It's little old me, what do I know? Or who's going to read my stuff? Or it's all been written before, or how am I going to discipline myself to sit down and write 40,000 words? And what I like to do is get people, I have a number of exercises to get people past that block and go, right, you've just proven you can write. And then off we go. So yeah, it basically boils down to plan it, publish it, promote it. 3 steps: plan it, publish it, promote it.
I love that. And I think a lot of people need help with the planning. I think that's the part. Yeah. Whether it's planning to write or like the plan for what this book is going to become afterwards. And that's why I'm really excited, because we are going to be doing a masterclass. It's coming up June 15th and 16th. Mark your calendars from 7 to 8:30 p.m. I know I was going to talk to you a little bit about AI. And so I think the other thing is that a lot of people are seeing jobs just go by the wayside, like Amazon fired 30,000 employees because they're being replaced by AI. Meta just fired 10% of their employees, right? And so I think a lot of people are worried about themselves and like, are they going to be the next casualty? And so I really feel strongly that your story, your experience cannot be replaced by AI. You have a set of experiences which you could turn into a framework, right? Like a step-by-step process that you can share with people, you can teach people, you can turn into a book and then monetize. So that is essentially what we're going to be doing on our masterclass. It's how don't be an AI casualty. How decision makers are using their book to create 5 streams of income. I'm excited because Jonathan is going to be with us during that masterclass to share his amazing and fabulous wisdom. Don't you worry. The registration link is in the description below. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, it's up above. If you're on LinkedIn, it's also up above. But yeah, so we talked a little bit about AI. AI certainly can't replace your story or your expertise. You can use it, though, to help you build what you're building. I'm curious. We talked about the planning. So the planning is, I think, what a lot of people need help with. Again, we'll help you with that on the masterclass. Come to the masterclass. What do you think are some of the most common mistakes authors make during this process?
They write the word "the end" and they think it is.
I love that.
They go, I'll put my book on Amazon, or I'll put my book on whatever platform, and the dollar bills are going to fly out my laptop. No, they're not. No, they're not. You've created a product, but you still need to market it. If nobody knows, then it ain't going to sell. So that's a big part of it. A big part of it is most people don't know how to market things, especially if you're an employee. You've never had to sell yourself. You've never had to kind of, describe the benefits of what you know. So learning marketing, and I see this on all the discussion boards and all the Facebook groups. The one thing that authors really struggle with, and it's the one thing we help them with, is the marketing side. Like, how do I get this in the hands of other people? I don't want to be the only reader of my book, right? I'd like other people to benefit from it. So that's our job. Our job is to go, well, there are certain things you can do. And if you look at the most successful authors on the planet, they all kind of do the same things. Success leaves clues, as Tony Robbins famously said. So if you model enough people, you start to see patterns, and you go, okay, well, there's certain things that you need to have in place. I think going back to your earlier point, which I loved, you don't need a job, you need an income. And nowadays, the old days of being the apprentice welder, and then a 50-year-old welder, and then a retired welder are long gone. That's not how it works anymore. The average person has 7 careers in their lifetime. I think I'm on number 4. The average person has 7 careers, but you don't actually need a career. You need income. And ideally, you'd have multiple income streams. I talk about the difference between a diving board and the Greek Parthenon. A diving board has one pillar, which holds up this very wobbly piece of wood. And ultimately, a diving board is designed to make you go where? Down, right? Down with a splash. The Greek Parthenon is pillar after pillar after pillar after pillar, and it's still here thousands of years later. So why not have Amazon paying you directly into your bank account every month, as well as seminar fees from people coming to listen to you, as well as a membership site where you have 100 people paying you $97 a month, as well as your app, as well as what corporate consulting or your coaching program, multiple rivers feeding your lake. Right? People say, I hate Mondays. No, you don't. There's nothing wrong with Monday. What you hate is your job.
Right. Say that.
Mondays are great. Be thankful for every Monday. So our point is, why not create multiple streams of income? There's job security there because you're in charge. You get to create the product and you get to keep all the money. And if your job gets replaced, okay. I think the future is AI enhanced humans. I think combining the lived experience and the qualifications and the stuff that's not on the internet with using using AI as a tool. I think that's where the mastery is going to be. I think you can tell, you can smell AI a mile off now, but AI that has been used to enhance and reinforce an expert or someone who's got lived experience, that stuff is going to rise to the top. And I think, if you can drive, there's someone out there in the world right now that would love to get out of the house. If you can swim, there's somebody out there right now who'd love to be able to swim. You have knowledge, you have skills, lived experience, hacks, tips, inside info that would help somebody. Why not get it out, package it in a format that other people can benefit from, and you earn from that? What's not to like?
Say that. And I think, for many people that I talk to, that is like the ultimate goal and the dream, right? To have something that they can control. It's theirs. And it comes from their own wisdom. It's AI proof, right? Yeah. You just use AI as a tool. So then, okay, so for the person out there, right, this is their goal, right? They're listening, and they've already written a book or they've published it even, but they haven't really done anything with it yet. What would you say would be the very first step that they should take this week?
This week, stop thinking you are an author and start thinking you're in the business of books. There's a mindset shift. The therapist who stops thinking like a therapist and thinks that they're in the business of therapy. The speaker who realizes they're not a speaker, they're in the business of speaking. There's a mindset shift where you go, right, hang on a minute. If I want this to pay me like a hobby, I'll treat it like a hobby. But if I want to pay it like a business or a job, I need to treat this as a job. I need to get serious about it. I need to stand above the parapet and go, do you know what? This is what I believe. This is what I think. I've put it in writing. You'll either love it or you'll hate it. Either way, I'm coming out there. It's like, where do they get a load of me? I'm coming out there. That's you have to get used to being in the spotlight. You can't be a quiet drummer. You have to be out there and stand up for your convictions. And people love people who stand for something. If you're vanilla and fluffy with me, I don't know how to be with you. But if you say, here's what I believe, now I know how to be with you. And I think Howard Stern, the disc jockey, said, 1/3 of people will love you, 1/3 of people will hate you, 1/3 of people won't care either way. You're just looking for the third who will love it, and that you can help with that book. That's part of our mission, is to help you get that out there.
I love that. If you found that valuable, if like the biggest nugget you got was like right at the end, go ahead and put a V in the comments so we know that that was valuable. I know I could have used that earlier on in my own entrepreneurial journey. So I guess for those that don't know, and I know this about you, right? Like you've identified yourself as an introvert. I think the idea of like being in front, I think that's also what makes people hesitate even about writing the book and their own experiences, or the things that they know, because there's this like vulnerability about that. Like you're putting yourself in front of everyone. And if you're an introvert, right, that's super scary. But even the extroverts, I find that this process is still a little like, a little scary, right? Because you are putting like yourself out there. What's your best advice for those who are like, I know, but I'm nervous. I'm not the type of person who likes attention or likes to be in front of the room.
Yeah, you can always write under a pen name, so nobody needs to know it's you. Like we have a conspiracy theory client who created a complete false identity because he was terrified that the Men in Black would show up. So you don't actually have to put your name out there if you don't want to. However, if you're writing something that's like a self-help book or a vocational book or something that's going to help people, I think, especially if it's a business book, think of the book promoting you, not you promoting the book. You'd have to.
That's my timer. Finish your thought.
Time's up. Yeah, you'd have to sell a hell of a lot of books to actually pay the bills. But if that book got you a gig speaking somewhere or a corporate gig, one book did it.
Yeah, and that's worth it. It's worth it to have the courage to get out there and be out front. So I love that. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your wisdom. I'm just going to let everybody know where they can reach you. You can find Jonathan on LinkedIn. It's the Jonathan Clark. It is also the same on Facebook as well as Instagram. He is a real person. You can reach out to him, ask questions. He will respond back. He's a real person. No, truly, Jonathan. Yes. Truly, this was an amazing conversation. You gave so much value. If you guys want to hear from Jonathan some more, make sure that you go ahead and register. It's free. It's a free 2-day masterclass. Join us on June 16th. Join us on June 15th and 16th. We will see you there. And again, thank you, Jonathan, so much for being with us. And for those of you who know me, I will be back again next week. Same time, same channel. I'll see you then. Take care, everyone. Bye.